name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yo, what's poppin', all my peeps? It is I, your host with the most, Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and your champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back in the yard of streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where obviously we take no nights off. Yeah, we do. And you can't be just talking wrestling in the yard of streams here. Unless you got the best of the West, you can't forget about Sarah Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
What's poppin'? How we doing?
Hi, I'm the learning tree.
I think I deserve that, though, for starting off the show with a man who is actually trending worldwide. Literally. I think he was number one in England for quite some time. 8 in the US.
Jeez.
Like insane. Like the man is so over. He's just incredible. In my Mario Kart, my friends from college who I play Mario Kart with on stream, we're all bought in, and we even got our friend who is not a wrestling fan at all, doesn't watch the product in the slightest. He is singing "I Believe in Joe Hendry," like singing. He's like a musician, so he's singing it. We're like, "Yes, Chris, fuck yeah!" Oh, so Joe Hendry is crossing all borders, and we love to see it. So I'm just
Whatever
happy.
you say.
We gotta. Do you believe, Sarah?
No.
Damn it! Why? No, you.
It's because I am the learning tree. I am the learning tree.
God damn it. Stop.
I am the learning tree. I am Judas.
I'm just picturing the silo-looking ass that he is in his trunks, and it's
Vince told
hilarious.
him he had nice legs, so that's why he started wearing trunks.
Oh my god,
that's not a joke either.
No, he doesn't look terrible. He just looks just like packed.
He
just looks packed together.
He's a thick boy.
It's so funny. It's just so. Oh my god. Ayo, Vinny, what's poppin'? David, what's good? Mother Sara, right hand man, is here. Wow.
Hello.
God, I don't have a fan like that. You got your own your boys over there. You're like Dalton
I know.
Castle.
I feel like I should have like a name for my fans, but it hasn't come to me yet.
Okay, so my name when they actually do come, because you have one, I don't yet, but we're prepared. The Pitts Fits.
Okay.
I think that's hilarious.
Sure.
So the Pitts Fits. Who wants to be a Pitts Fit? That's gonna trend. It'll be on a t-shirt.
All right.
And then Sarah's name for whatever. Because I'd give you boys, like your boys, but that also is Dalton Castle's. And the last time I said something that we should do for the show that was apparently a wrestling thing, we got absolutely trashed on the iTunes Apple.
Yeah, because you didn't listen to me. See, this is why I'm here, because you don't listen to me. So now you have to, All
right. Well, I'm sorry, Mother Sara, for not listening to you. How rude of me. Good shit, Bernard. Getting ready for the stadium ramp meeting. Nice. I didn't. Send it over, and I will read it. I've been really swamped. I was in a meeting today, talking oysters till 4:00.
I didn't have a meeting today.
Well, look at you.
I had one yesterday, but it was canceled. So that was nice because I was only staying awake to attend the meeting.
Oh.
And then it was canceled, and I was like, okay, I'm going back to sleep.
Right back to bed you go.
Yeah, it's too early. It's too early for this.
Oh my god. I came back from that meeting and then played one of the greatest games of NHL 24 I've ever played. God, it put me in the nonsense mood. Christopher.
Hello. We haven't seen you before.
I think we have.
I don't remember his name.
There's a lot of Christophers.
I know, but I don't remember. I don't remember Stike Leather. Stike Leather.
That's a good wrestling name.
That's a cool last name.
That's a really cool wrestling name. Yeah. So thank God it's I almost just said
Thank
God.
God it's the learning tree.
I hate you right
The
now. So bad.
learning tree.
I
Wait,
hate-
what?
On the learning tree.
Same, Chris. Same. I am full of knowledge. You just need to take the leaves off my branches, and you just learn something. That is
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
the learning rosebud. You just need to take roses off my branches, and I am the learning rose. Bush.
That is Sarah. It's time for the weekly segment of Lemon and Rosebud of the week. For anyone who is new here, like Stike Leather, Lemon and Rosebud are our least, which are the lemons, and favorite rosebuds things in the wrestling world. I know we have the SmackDown breakdown, we rewind Raw, but this is the one show of the week where we come together and talk all wrestling. As you saw with my dude Joe Hendry opening the show. Sara is a Jerichoholic currently right now and is just swinging from the grapevines. So anything goes. And Learning Tree, you've been just been so chipper today, and I actually really like to see it. So let's continue that chipperness with what your rosebud of the week is.
I was gonna say something else, but I gotta bring it back to my guy.
Hey yo.
Very random, but I love it. Will Sasso's interview
Oh my god.
with Chris Van Vliet. I can't stop watching the clips of him impersonating wrestlers. Okay. First of all, I was not aware of his deep connection to wrestling. I had no idea. He's not a guy that's generally on my radar. I'm not super into television series or movies. It's just not my thing, really. So I knew of him, but I couldn't tell you, a bunch of stuff that he's done in his career or anything. So him talking about being around in WCW and whatever, I was like, oh, okay. And then you just
he knows ball.
Yeah. So I was like, I had no idea. So then he's just going on about these stories that he has and these impersonations. He's got Scott Hall, he's got Jesse Ventura, he's got Jake the Snake, and I'm just like, okay, you don't see a lot of impersonations of those three guys, I would say. In particular, usually if someone's gonna do a wrestling impersonation, it's gonna be Hulk Hogan, because it's
Macho
easy, right?
Man.
Yeah, it's just gonna because the voice, or with Hulk Hogan, it's brother,
it's easy.
Yeah, so I was just he's so good at all three. And the ones with the Scott Hall story that he told about going to the bar, and there was a bunch of guys there, and Scott Hall was there, and he says that Scott Hall said, "Hey Sasso, you look like a guy who could do coke and eat." And it was just they both just start laughing because it's so ridiculous, but it's he's so good. So it's just another example of how good Chris Van Vliet interviews are. They're some of my favorite ones to watch as far as anything that has to do with wrestling. It's him and Ariel Helwani, the real legit journalist. So yeah, he's a real
unbiased journalist.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I think he's put together a couple shorts on YouTube, and you should watch it because I think that he has hands down the best Scott Hall impersonation. And he does it in a funny way too, where it's not cringe or
no.
He's not trying to be disrespectful in
no.
either,
He is Scott Hall. When he is Scott Hall.
It's insane. It's insane. So I think that has been my favorite thing of the week so far.
Oh, I was agree with that. My favorite out of that was Jake the Snake, because he does the Jake the Snake promo.
The breathing.
The breathing. That's what makes it so authentic. And with Jake the Snake with that promo with Ted DiBiase, like it's one of his best promos ever, and he just did it right off the cuff, on par, same note. Like it was absolutely
I need to
incredible.
know stuff like that. Like I want to be somebody that's like what, the most iconic promo, because someone had just posted the picture of Scott Hall invading WCW, in the Canadian tuxedo. And it's just saying like post a photo you can hear,
Yes.
and it's like, yeah, and then I posted like, you people, who I am. And I'm like, I need to memorize the entire thing, because like I can't just know the opening line, because everybody and their mom knows the opening line. I'm like, I need to take time to actually like remember the entire thing.
That's a good point. I don't really know a lot of promos like off the cuff.
Yeah.
But if someone like a dad or mom pushing the kid on the bike, and then they're like, "Mom, I'm doing it. You still there?" And they're like, they already like I need a little bit of a bump, a push, and then it gets me there. I'm trying to think of a couple that I remember, but I agree. You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm
I'm here. I
here.
mean, I know like a good part of it. It's just like I'm like, it would be a good one to know the whole thing,
All right. When my rosebud of the week, I'm not gonna replay the video, but it is Joe Hendry. The song is like incredible. It's so catchy that I'm sending it to different people who aren't wrestling fans, and as you already heard, they're singing along with it. It's incredible. But as a champ of the peeps, as we know, like I want to not just talk the talk, I want to walk the walk. So everyone knows the song. But I wanted to know, like, all right, is he good in the ring? Does he deserve to like be this digital media champion? Which, by the way, is the longest reigning digital media champion in TNA history at 286 days, I think it was, because I did my research and I was watching a few of his matches. He does this move. It is my new favorite thing ever. When he does the chops to somebody, he gets the crowd to sing along, "I believe in Joe Hendry," and then he chops through the beat on the guy. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And for his size, he's very agile. Like, he's not someone you think like could go against certain people, but the stabbing, I was pretty impressed. Like, I am watching TNA for Joe Hendry. That is my rosebud, hands down. Let's go. Do you want to do comments for Lemon?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What to what? Like what do we to
Probably Joe Hendry. I don't know.
It's incredible. How can you not like El Toro Blanco? No, dude, MLW. Check out my dude, the Victorious BRG in MLW. He's there. He's part of some faction now. He's absolutely crushing it. And MLW is just sick. I mean, they freaking gave us Jacob Fatu. All right. Like, come on.
Yeah, he's apparently been seen at the PCE.
Yeah, I am not teasing that on this show today because I don't like to talk about the inevitable. What tease? All right. You rather be successful as a tag team or a single wrestler?
I feel like it's kind of hard to say, just because like if you're talking about current day me, unathletic me, like yeah, tag team, because I can't do shit by myself. But I always thought it would be really cool to just be like, and I'm not saying I could be or whatever, but I'm saying like an iconic manager like Paul Heyman. Like because I've never been athletic, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, you can change that, but like you kind of have to be naturally coordinated and whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm just not. So I always thought it would be cool to be a manager. Like I even at one point when I was getting serious about being like, okay, I kind of want to go to a wrestling school, I was actually looking at the time when I lived in Washington at the time. Rikishi had a wrestling school. He actually had a manager program. So it was like you didn't just go to like take bumps and stuff. Like you could actually go. I think they also had like commentary stuff too. So I was like, I almost was like, I wanted to go. because I'm like, if I'm gonna do wrestling, I think that's my easiest way in because I'm not an athletic.
No, you know your strength.
person.
Your mind is your strength. Like
Yeah,
you would,
so-
your mind would have been more valuable.
Well, and I think like once I'm comfortable or whatever, like I can be a decent talker. So it's like I was like, okay, I could do that.
Clearly, we have 1,700 people that think so.
So yeah, so I think, you know, if I had to choose, like I would probably want to be a manager. But if it was like a dream scenario, yeah, I'd rather probably be a single star. Like because then I don't know, it's like it's on you, you know.
I would go singles. I used to, when I was like 3 or 4, I would wrestle this stuffed animal Tigger. And I would fight him for the title like weekly. Like we had the ultimate rivalry. I was trying to find a Tigger in the 2K creations for like when we first started the NWF and pair him with nonsense to like do, but nobody creates Winnie the Pooh characters.
That's rude.
It's so rude. They're Disney canon. How are they not? Like,
I
and
don't know.
imagine rekindling that rivalry. We had some bangers.
Wow! Oh my god, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, man.
I was, and then I actually had a legit wrestling league with my friends in school, where I was very much a Hulk Hogan. All right, I will openly say that. I was putting myself over weekly. I would say. Learn the Starter Math promo. I would love to. It was actually the anniversary of it yesterday. It's funny.
I know.
That.
It's funny because one of my coworkers sent that to our group chat on Slack because he knows that a couple of us are wrestling fans. So he was like, "Happy anniversary."
It's without a doubt one of the most iconic wrestling promos in history. I would, if I could, that would be like that would be a skill I'd have to learn. Because if you could do that, it'd be incredible. Used to wrestle as Clifford all the time.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
dude, me and your nephew take on Clifford. Yeah, dude, you have to tell the story.
Why is this so funny?
You have to tell the story. He gets like 1 or 2, but then like I win at the pay-per-views.
Okay.
Like, this is so easy.
So so this is a story that probably needs some context to it, but anyway, so my mom was dating a guy for several years, and because of dating him, she was like, okay, you need to reconnect with your children because you can't be a deadbeat dad if you're dating me, right? So then we grew up for a few years with his kids, and I still refer to them as like my brothers, you know. And anyway, so one of them that we haven't seen in over 20 years because we moved out of Massachusetts and he was young, he was just in Arizona. So last week, everybody but me, because I had the NFL draft to deal with, went and saw him for the first time in like 21 years. And the last time we saw him, he was 7 or 8, and now he's like a 29-year-old man.
Yeah, my age.
Bizarre, right? But anyway, so one of our fondest memories of him was we were super into wrestling back then. The Rock was like our favorite, you know, one of them. My sister loved Chris Jericho, and we would put wrestling moves on each other. And I'm 6 years older than him, so my sister is like 4 or 5 years older than him, and she asked him if she remembered when she put him in the walls of Jericho. And he cried, and he said he didn't remember, but I vividly remember my sister putting him.
No. That's stored away.
Yeah, it's in that part where he's like, it's too painful.
It's so stored away. You can't be crying in the walls of Jericho.
So I guess it was just like a really funny thing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. So I'm like, I remember that so vividly.
Everyone put their friends or cousins or family in some sort of wrestling move.
We still do, because I have like a almost 6-year-old nephew, and he wants to wrestle, and like my sister and I will do things, and she'll like try to do an ankle lock or like an elbow drop, you know what I mean? Like we're just always doing these things. So I mean, you know, whatever, it's still fun.
I used to put on a mean sharpshooter. Oh,
I didn't get that. If I had like 20-something year old footage, if you're talking about me, I would
Yeah.
share it, but I definitely do not
Oh,
have
if
that.
I had footage of me getting double suplex at my friend's birthday party,
By
I would
Tigger?
no, but
I'm just kidding.
my friends, we had a battle royal at one of his parties, and we were just like at jumping off tables onto couches, and then two of my friends like double suplex me because I was like the big guy. Oh my
Mhm.
god, pedigree was tough. Taking the pedigree was tough. You had to
Yeah.
make sure there was a pillow there, so like no one legitimately broke their neck.
I know. I'm like, I don't remember being put into anything. I know we probably did. I just don't remember but my sister and I, we still like to this day, even before we just reconnected with our stepbrother, sort of whatever. We still joked to this day about like putting him in the walls of Jericho and him sobbing. And I'm like,
It's
yes, like
so
because like
funny.
you don't know when you're that
You
little.
have no
We
idea
were like,
what that
we
is.
didn't know.
It's like they put me in a question. They put me in like a
Yeah, I'm like, I
wrestling
was,
room. It's like,
I,
mom, it's the walls of Jericho.
yeah,
Okay, like come
yeah.
on,
It's not even that serious. God.
just crawl to the rope, get your 5 count,
You
and
should have
all that go.
tapped. You should have tapped.
Yeah, just tap if you can't find a rope.
Yeah.
Oh my
All right,
god,
let's move on because we got we still got to
we got
do
comments.
yeah, and
Lemon.
yeah.
What was I gonna say? My lemon was. I honestly
I
don't
don't know.
even.
You didn't tell me.
You go. What's your lemon?
I don't know that I really have like a lemon per
I
se.
got
I
mine.
guess my biggest one would probably just be like I didn't love this week's episode of Raw, but I told like for a go home show, I feel like I'm not like super stoked about Backlash. I'm going to watch it, obviously,
You
because
should.
I watch every pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Plus it's in France, so I'm gonna watch it. But I feel like the build up to a few of the bigger matches. I mean, there's only 5 matches on the card right
Yeah.
now, but like I'm just not like super stoked about it. So I guess that would just be like the build up to Backlash has just not been, I guess, as exciting as I was hoping. Like, I think that there's still going to be good matches. So that's the thing is like, do I complain because the buildup hasn't been that good, but the matches are going to probably be fire? Like, should I complain? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like a weird spot to be in because I want to be more invested and like excited about the matches and stuff, but like beyond just knowing, okay, these people are going to do great. It's going to be a great match. I want to be more excited about it than just that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think sometimes it is what it is. Like, you know, the last pay-per-view was WrestleMania. This is supposed to be like the fallout of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it's not really supposed to be big and grand and super duper exciting, but
Exactly. It's
you
supposed
know.
to be big and grand for France. That is what it's
Right.
really supposed to
Speaking
be.
of, did you see that ovation that Daddy Gunther got in Austria
I
today?
did not.
Oh
I
my
have
God.
been.
He
if
broke
someone could send it-
character, brother.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, dude, that's the hometown king.
I know, so he was smiling. He smiled.
Damn right.
Times, and I was like,
Damn right.
yes,
I love a
king.
good Gunther smile.
I'm like, where? I wanted to then know. Excuse me, where is my video of Giovanni Vinci and Bologna, Italy? Where's that? That's what I want to know. Because where is that video, WWE?
Hasn't serviced.
It's very rude.
I'll be quick with my lemon because it's just really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it's a really personal pet peeve. Why are we calling Adam Copeland Edge Cope? All right, like I'm sorry, that just makes me want to throw in a tin. Like you know what I mean? Like,
is that like his nickname now?
Well, Copeland, but like
no, but is that like what fans
they're
are calling
him Cope? No, on commentary they're calling him Cope.
I don't know.
I don't like it. It's gross.
It reminds me of internet lingo because like when you're like complaining about something, some troll will come out and be like Cope. Have you seen that? They're just like cry about it. Whatever.
I'll cope with it. Okay.
I don't know. It's maybe because his name is just kind of like like it's not that great of a wrestling name, obviously, because it's like his birth name. Not a lot of them are great.
Yeah.
But like that is not great.
Everyone knows him as Edge.
I know.
So it's Cope, Edge. It's like, I'm sorry. Okay.
I get why he like can't go by Edge, but it's like
obviously.
I still, I mean, you're never gonna be anything but Edge to me. So sorry.
Yeah, I do it. I just that's just my only pet peeve of the week, really, because everything else, even the AEW stuff, which I'll actually start where we'll say what's popping, and then I will make the banner for it because this is Thursday show. So what's popping this week? AEW Dynamite. Okay, we'll just do that easy one right there. Boom. Because this I was gonna make my Rosebud or one of them, but I thought this would be more of an open one because I think what's going on in AEW right now is solid, but because of how on fire WWE is, it's getting completely overshadowed, and also the ridiculousness of Papa Khan or RoboCon, as you're going to see me call him, selling it and portraying it. It's just very Zuckerberg-esque. It's not playing well in their favor, but the outline and like idea for it is so there, and I know the elite are going to do well with it, and it's going to be great for AEW. That's not what I'm arguing. But if I wasn't a just diehard wrestling fan, I would not be reeled in. You're just reeling in like a little bit more, not a bigger audience. I don't know how to really describe it.
I think that's the problem with AEW, which like people talk about, like people who are smarter and more experienced in wrestling obviously than me. They've always said that they try to appeal to their audience. They don't try to gain more audience. And I think that's what they're doing. So like, even though Mr. Tony Khan is out here saying that a whole bunch of new fans started watching this week, first of all, how would you know? Like you're, because of your comments on NFL Network, you think that automatically meant that people are checking out AEW. Like you're not gonna see it unless you somehow broke 1 million views on Dynamite this week, which I haven't seen that. It's like you're not going. You can't. There's nothing that you can do to measure and say that that's true. But that's how it is for them. Which it's like it's that's their thing. If they just want to appeal to a certain type of wrestling fan, then that's their thing, and I think that's just what they're doing, but that is not something that's going to keep them afloat in the long run. Like it'll keep you around for a while, but like if you're not bringing in new viewers and new fans, then you're never going to progress, which isn't that what they want? Like he talks about wanting to eventually take over WWE, you know what I mean, like be the new main thing in wrestling, and it's like, well, that's a gigantic goal that you'll probably never reach, but you're not on that path if you're not trying to appeal to a mass audience and instead just trying to please the people who are going to watch you every week regardless.
It's really struggling in that regard where growing, like I do not see how they can grow right now. Like with everything, and it has nothing to do with the product itself. I think the product is great, but it's great for wrestling and the sport of professional wrestling, where it's great. Like it's not meeting that WWE mark because you're missing other pieces because you're catering to a different fan. Here's the thing: you need that. You need that in the wrestling world. You need to cater to that other fan because, as we see, there's WWE stands and AEW stands. So because you're catering to them, that's great, but you're gonna have to take some sacrifices.
There's a balance to it, though.
And there's a balance, but like you can't be on TBS, 5-10 years from now, because I don't even think TBS is gonna be there 5-10 years from now. So where do you go? You're gonna go to a streaming service. Well, you're not gonna go to HBO Max or Hulu. You're not going to go with how you're going.
Netflix.
You're not going to Netflix. You're going to get bumped to like where we are on YouTube with MLW and, Limitless and maybe IWTV. And if IWTV is where you're at, then great. But like,
that's not goal.
Where the money. Exactly. That's not the goal of starting a wrestling industry.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure we talked about, people were telling us what their rosebuds and lemons were, so I wanted to make sure.
Sweet. Yeah, let's do it.
Here's Richards. He said his rosebud was Blair, Lyra, and Dijak, and Ilya getting drafted. His lemon was Jericho's lemon tree gimmick. The backlash only being 5 matches. Yep, that's mine too. I mean, I'm kind of torn on the idea of it being 5 matches because I saw people were complaining about it. And some people, are saying, okay, well, it's quality over quantity. And that's what I would like to think is why there's only 5 matches. But it does feel like virtually nothing for a pay-per-view that's probably supposed to be at least 3 hours. So that is a little bit confusing, I feel like. And that is something that I am a little concerned about in the Triple H era, because I get why he doesn't want to overpack a show, but then I feel like he does the opposite where he's like not packing it enough,
I have a
Um,
feeling we're gonna see some lengthy segments.
maybe.
That's why.
Christopher said my Rosebud goes to the way the NXT are crowning their women's North American champion. I like the process they are taking, and my lemon goes to Cringe Bucks. They are just they just need to get off my TV. Yeah, I can't speak to that because I I didn't watch it, but maybe
like
that
it. I
means
think
they're doing their job.
they're doing a
You
very
know,
good job.
um,
They are. Like it's very well done, and the Kenny Omega shit too, teasing Okada like that. What they're doing is just teasing Omega for All In, and you're putting more of a wrench into this elite with Jack Perry and Okada.
I can't.
It's so funny. It's just funny. I find it entertaining. I don't
Jack
like it,
Perry
but
just
it's entertaining.
he has a face that makes me mad. You know,
Oh
when
my
you just
god,
like
I
see
love him.
when you see
I love him.
someone's face that just like angers you, that's him.
Yes, 1,000%.
Um,
I know what you mean.
yeah.
I love him so much. He is my scapegoat.
Okay. Entertainment says my lemon is how the draft is done. They need to have a month of free agency instead and have Adam and Nick try to out recruit each other. That's actually a pretty cool idea.
That's not bad. What if they did like draft 1 year, free agency another, just swap.
I feel like
That's
that would
not
be
a
pretty
bad
cool.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
Christopher says, "Hey Sarah, do you think Jacob Fatu interferes in the tag team match?" I don't think so. I don't know that they'll fly him to France. I think they'll probably want to use him in something else, but maybe. I don't know. Marcus says his Rosebud was the NXT Women's Ladder match for the North American title. The lemon is the build to Backlash. I feel you guys. I feel you.
Backlash is getting a lot of hate.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's necessarily the show. I just think it's like the build up. You know what I mean?
F you. Are you a night guy?
Oh no. How? Yeah, I guess so. But so are you, basically. So
I know, but how funny was her in the ring counting out the?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like she's
3.
being able to show more personality. Because the thing is like, yeah, that is annoying. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, but it's like annoying funny. You know what I mean? But it works because it's like you don't have there isn't one way to be a heel. And I think sometimes people think that it is like you have to be evil or you have to kick ass and you have to like do things that people don't like you're going after the top loved wrestler or whatever. And it's like that's not how it is. Like you can also just do stupid things like this that just annoy people. And it's like people will hate you for being annoying or for being cringy or whatever. It doesn't have to just be like, I hate you because you beat up my favorite, like that's not how it is.
No, that's not how things work. No, we love Okada here. All right, what's next? Because we talked about AEW. But we'll stay on it. Where is it? Robocon. This is what I'm calling him from now on because he did address the comment that he made about WWE, referring to it as a former creepy director in Hollywood. Just like out of pocket for the NFL Network during the draft. That's all. I think you would agree there.
Yeah, it's also just like. I mean, okay, so this stir up a lot of controversy online, and then of course, like the cult followings from each company were going after each other.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, I think we can all agree, or I feel like we should all be able to agree that what he said was inappropriate, and also, you can't make blanketed statements like that about an entire company and everybody that works for them when we don't know, first of all who was involved. And most of what we know are named in a lawsuit that's ongoing right now. none of which are currently employed. So like you can't compare these things, and it's just like such an unnecessary shot to make just to boost up your own company. Like there are so many other ways that you can go about trying to make yourself like promote your company and promote that you're the better company, and maybe even take a hit at the other company without going for something like this that's just like low down and dirty and also like very serious, because you're also then creating this narrative that WWE fans are actively buying into that culture or like are advocating for that, or like okaying that type of atmosphere in a wrestling company. Like it's just not like, because it's like there are things that you could say about Tony Khan and the way that he behaves and whatever, and I'm not saying it compares, but like you're not going to say, okay, well, Tony acts like this, and this, and so that's what AEW is. Like you can't really say that, because it's like what one person doesn't define what an entire company is. So
Exactly.
I think that his addressing of it was just weak. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. He's like, well, there's more viewers coming to AEW, and it's like, okay, like it's just weird. It was a weird moment.
It was very weird, and I couldn't agree more that you have the opportunity to put over your company on a grand stage like the NFL, who a
Yeah.
merger like that or a working relationship, I mean,
Well,
like
and
that
he
could really
already
put you over.
but he
And
already
he
has a connection because of his father. Like he was in the war
on the
room, the
Jag
Jaguars war
with the
room.
neck brace. I gotta commend him on the commitment, though.
He's signing it and raffling it off, and I'm just like,
That's brilliant.
but who's gonna buy that?
Sarah?
Who wants a neck
Sara.
brace for a fake broken neck?
Sara.
I'm sorry.
I know. I
No,
agree.
who the hell is buying a Tony Khan neck brace?
Someone.
Yeah,
That's
some
the thing.
weirdo.
Someone is. That's
a weirdo.
the thing.
A weirdo. The money will go to a great cause, but like it's Tony Khan at the end of the day.
Well,
Like
it goes to a great cause. That's
it's
what
not
it's really about.
that's it. That's the praise I can give him, I guess.
All right. Well, at least you gave him some praise.
And you spelled his last name wrong.
God damn it. Okay, it's been a long day.
I just noticed.
Switching up. What do we want to do? Do we want to talk about this? Matt Hardy posts a QR code, Wide 6 member. What do we think? We can just do quick hits for some of these because we do have a lot of them.
I know, but like I also need clips because might not be doing SmackDown. So
we're not doing SmackDown.
Yeah.
Backlash.
Okay. I'm like kind of torn on this. Like I don't think that they need him to be involved in this. Like at least in my brain, when I think of Bray Wyatt or the Wyatt family or whatever, like I don't think about Matt Hardy. But he believes that people do, or like the majority of people do, that they somehow connect them. And it's like, okay, I get that you guys had like matches and were like tag team or whatever, but it's like, I just don't, when I think of Bray Wyatt, I don't automatically think of Matt Hardy. Like I just don't. Like I think of other people way before I think about Matt Hardy.
That's fair.
That's why I feel like I think he wants to be involved in it, and that's why he keeps doing this, because he like wants people to get behind him and like push for it to happen. I guess if he like popped in a couple times or something, I guess sure, but I feel like as something that is, if we're wanting to see it like every single week, or it's like an active storyline, an active group, I just don't know that we need him around. Like I would rather it be the other people that I associate more closely to Bray Wyatt, which is like Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss. Like I would rather see these people get the screen time, and like, Bo Dallas. Like I want to see them. I'm not sitting there being like, who'd make this better? Matt Hardy. You know what I mean? Like no disrespect to him, but it's like that we're also talking about like 4 years ago. Like we're not talking about like what was he just doing before he passed away. Like Matt wasn't a part of that. So like I'm just not like sitting here like chomping at the bit waiting for it to happen. If it happens, like okay, maybe a few appearances, but as like an active member or a number one of the 6, like I'm not into it.
I believe that Matt Hardy has a role in this because of his time working with Bray, and how they were pretty close, because I listened to the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy episode that they did on Bray Wyatt, and it's absolutely incredible. And with the way Matt's career is going, I could see him being more of an influence rather than a major on-screen fixture. I like he just appeared in TNA. All right.
Yeah, but I guess he's not under contract.
He's not under contract. He's a free agent. But also, like, Bubba Ray Dudley is doing stuff for WWE, and he's Bully Ray in TNA and does Busted Open. You know what I mean? So the wrestling world, like, there's multiple forbidden revolving doors that are just swinging open right now. And because of that, Matt Hardy can be an influence into the story where, because of his background with the broken verse and how he, like, let's be honest, revolutionized cinematic wrestling. I mean, he's the first cinematic match that I can think of with the Final Deletion. And then you have that influence, and then him and Bray working together, and they talked a lot Matt and John talked a lot on the show about being in the room with Vince, trying to pitch these ideas, and Vince not getting it. And they had ideas that were really clicking and hitting, but Vince was not getting it. Now that he's gone, and you have Triple H, Paul Levesque, who is very open-minded and actually wants to hear more input from the talent or the producers, whoever else is in the room with him. I think in that way it could work. When it comes to major on-screen role, no.
Well, because
That's not where it's going. It's going to be in the back.
I want Uncle Howdy, like, I want that to be the focus. Like, I feel like, and I'm not trying to make it sound as, like, mean or harsh as it sound like might come off, but it's like, to me, it's like, it's almost like Matt knows that his career is getting towards the end, and this is like his last, like, hurrah. Like, he's trying to, like, insert himself in this because he's just like, okay, this will be like my last big thing that I do. And so that's why it's like, why? Because it's like all he's talking about. Like, and he keeps hinting at it and whatever. And it's just like, if he's not already a part of it, then it just comes off cringy, because it's like, why are you begging to be in this? Like, if they wanted you in this, they would ask you, like, if he's not, I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see how they go about this first without him in it, because then we also have to think, if Matt Hardy comes back to WWE, it's going to be such a distraction, because people are going to be like, oh my God, Matt Hardy's back, and it's broken Matt Hardy and this and this and that. Like, I think we need to let that moment be Uncle Howdy. We need that to be Alexa Bliss and Eric Rowan. Like, let us get excited about that, and let us accept their returns and that our excitement with that, before then we get it overshadowed by the fact that legendary, Matt Hardy is back. Because to me, that's, like, not fair. It's going to be a huge deal if we see Bo Dallas back in WWE, especially in this role, because when we've talked about it before, I didn't think this would ever happen, because I just couldn't imagine how difficult it would be for him to get back into any sort of wrestling capacity without his brother, but especially one where he was literally working side by side with him until he couldn't, like, he was out. So the fact that that's going to happen, I feel like we need to focus our attention on that and not have it be like, oh, Matt Hardy, like, to me, I don't know, that just doesn't seem fair. Like, the timing of it wouldn't work. Maybe down the line, but not right away.
Okay, I can see that. I like that. Hold on. You want to talk about this? I know you do. So it was Drew McIntyre went on Pat McAfee the other day, had himself a nice little interview, and he said in the interview that he, Nick Khan, and Triple H were going to make that deal happen, and there was no way Drew McIntyre was going away. He is a WWE guy. Sara, I mean, I don't think there's anyone happier in this yard than you right now. So
DM Hunk is back, baby. No, I'm very excited because the internet was filled with doubts. They kept saying, like, we don't know, he hasn't resigned, it's not looking good, blah 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 blah. And it's like, obviously you have to take a lot of that with a grain of salt, because you don't really know who these people are talking to, and even if they are talking to a reliable source, one, you're not going to know it. And two, we don't know that they're giving out correct information, because not everything is always going to just be fed to insiders. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen, because they want to keep things secretive, at least some things. And so I was just getting a little concerned, just because it felt like we were getting really close to when they were saying his contract was running out. But then we were saying, I think it was like last week or the week before, we were talking about how they were having Drew promote Clash at the Castle. And I'm like, okay, well, they were saying his contract runs out a month before. So this is a good sign, right? And then I'm like, am I trying to convince myself that they would?
Sounds like you were.
It's like I didn't want to convince myself that they weren't going to let this guy leave, who's doing the best work of his career. So I'm just glad to see like that we're at least right now, it seems like for the most part, we're at a point in WWE where those people are being recognized more, and they're not being treated as replaceable acts. You know what I mean? Like, Vince prioritized the guys that he liked. It didn't matter who they were. He loved Hornswoggle and kept Hornswoggle around. You know what I mean? But like on the big scheme of things, like who was he? Like, if he left, would anyone really care? No. So it's like, I like that he seems to be, at least right now, like acknowledging how instrumental some of these people are and why you need to keep them around. And so the fact that he made sure to get this deal done with Drew McIntyre, and that it's long term, it's a 3-year contract.
That's like a long time.
Very good. And the fact that Nick Khan is also active in these conversations is good too, because it's not just like, oh, the big guy in charge is approving of it. No, other people are as well. So it's not going to ever be like a conflict that, oh, well, Triple H, you're a Triple H guy, nobody else wanted you. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's a general thing where like these people in the back, they wanted to keep Drew around. So I would like to think, because he's sticking around, that part of their conversation involved what they see for him in the future. And I really do hope that means that we will see a title run, and a legit title run for him, because
we're seeing a title run.
You can't, I mean, this dude is on fire. He's on fire on Raw. He's on fire on pay-per-views. He's on fire on social media. He's on fire on the Pat McAfee show. Like, this guy never stops. Okay, please, I never thought that I literally, if you told me this 10 years ago, that I would be sitting here like oogling over Drew McIntyre and about how in love with him, I would think that you were disgusting. Like, that was just like how much of like a non-Drew fan that I was. But
because he looked like a little fetus.
Well, because it's like, if the body hair, okay, the growing out of the body hair, the facial hair, the bulking up of like, 20, 30 pounds of muscle. Holy
he became
hell.
a man.
Yes. So I'm into it. So I'm pleased.
I like that. I'm happy. I was
very pleased. Yes.
We like to see that. I am just happy that he's back. And did you also see this news that was broken on Pat McAfee? That Nick Khan is not selling his shares.
Yes. Well,
it's all hogwash.
Yeah, I think that people were I think because of all the stuff that's going on with Vince, because then there was more news about Laurinaitis is now not turning his back on Vince, because of course he's not, because he's a fucking loser. And so now
that's so tough.
He's joining Vince again with this lawsuit. I know.
Good for
fucking
him.
Loser, dude. Like,
good for you, dude.
Get the hog out your mouth, biatch. That's what I would say to Johnny Ace. But anyway,
you're feisty today.
I think
you're fucking feisty,
because stuff like this is going on, that people are saying, and it's possible, but there's other people that are around still in the company that are Vince guys. And so I think that people were trying to paint Nick Khan out to be one of those guys, and that he was trying to sell his shares to get out before shit hit the fan. And I'm not saying that Nick isn't. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. I don't know. We're never going to know. But I think people were trying to connect the dots in that way, because Vince had just allegedly sold the rest of his shares. And so I think people were trying to say, oh, this must be connected, So I think that's what it was. But obviously Drew spoke about it and was like, no, guys, that's not what's happening. I don't want to calm down.
I don't want you to, really. I kind of like this energy.
I'm like, I don't want
We kind of need this energy right now. I mean,
to.
that's what the
And Richard said people thought that Nick was involved with Vince or was getting removed or hiding Vince's actions. Doesn't seem like that's the case. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like I think that people were trying to connect those dots. And like I'm not saying he's completely innocent. I'm not saying that he's completely involved. I don't know.
don't know.
But I
We
do
don't
think
know.
that it is wrong for people to try and jump to those conclusions without any evidence other than other people being named in the lawsuit, you know what I mean? Like anonymous people being named in the lawsuit and then trying to assume that it's Nick. Like I feel like if it were somebody like Nick, they would have booted him. Like at least I
Yeah.
would like to believe that if they had that much heat on them with someone that close, you know what I'm saying? I would imagine Triple H wouldn't want that around, but
No, they would have been gone already. Like, if there was any sort of Spicy Sarah is the best Sarah. You're damn right.
all right.
I just love how people are calling you Mother Sarah. Like, I don't know what
I
this
should have.
is.
There were shirts at Target that were around mother. I think it was like maybe I don't know. There were shirts at Target that said mother, and I was like, who the hell would wear that? Apparently, I should have bought one.
Apparently, you should be wearing it all stream, and
Apparently.
like it's insane.
Okay, you ready?
Vinny,
don't say that. That's very rude. If they're simps, then you're a simp, boy.
well, that's boys.
Those are boys. Oh my god, did you see Kit's tweet about his action figures?
Wait,
and he said, "Yes, toy."
Oh, that's just
you know what else he's called? You know what else he said? He said, "Little kitty." That was what he was referring to himself. Little kitty.
He's something else.
Kitty.
I love wrestling. I love professional.
I need to get their action figures. I'm gonna look them up right now because I think I need them.
I think you think too. I think you do need something back there.
Anyway, you're gonna go to the next thing.
I am. I just put in my dinner order. That's how we do it.
Remember when people were getting that person got mad at me saying in the comments like, "Why are you telling him to pay attention? Because this is what he does." That's what I'm saying.
It's
because he doesn't pay attention all the time.
I was paying attention the entire time. Did you not hear me conversing back and forth? It was kind of nice. You're on your phone. What are you doing?
I'm looking up Pretty Deadly action figures.
This is so funny. All right, you look up the action figures. I will talk about Miss Chelsea Green.
Oh my god, that is so weird. I just came across her action figure.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. That's actually
anyway. Go ahead.
But Chelsea Green, she will be taking on NXT champion Roxanne Perez next Tuesday on NXT, and it's being floated around the interweb right now that she might have a longer stay in NXT and might be paired back up with Robert Stone, Mr. Stone, now that he is not managing Von Wagner anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Leaves a void for Chelsea Green. They worked together before. Mm-hmm. I am a fan of this. I don't care where Chelsea is, as long as she's on my screen at least twice a week. I don't care.
The one thing that I sent to you in that article that you haven't mentioned is that she has been requested to be in NXT for quite some time. That they've wanted her to be down in NXT.
I did read that
for a while.
I did. I read it and glanced over it, and yeah.
And although for the most part, it's like, yeah, maybe in to some people, it's like, okay, is that a demotion? I guess it depends on who you ask, but I love it for Chelsea because she was in NXT, but like never really had a great run in NXT because like she always was like breaking her wrist and stuff. Like it was always the same injury. But I feel like even though she hasn't accomplished a whole lot since her return, I mean, other than the random record breaking things that she's done, like she's not a multi-time champion or something. She's really established herself on WWE TV on Raw, and now she's going to be going to SmackDown. So I think she would be incredible in NXT, and I think that might also give her a bigger platform to show what she actually can do in the ring. Like that video of her from Lucha Underground, right? That was where it was.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's fighting a man, first of all.
Do you know who it is?
No, I don't remember.
Penta El Cerro Miedo.
okay, so I'm just saying in general, she's fighting a
Yeah.
luchador, like she's fighting a man, looking badass and hot as fuck in the whole thing, right? But like that is stuff that we haven't seen her do in WWE because she's playing a role and like she's not supposed to be, like the most experienced or the most technical or like the
Yeah.
greatest wrestler because that's like the role right now. And I feel like she can still be the character that we know and love, but I feel like maybe being able to go against someone like Roxanne or even anybody else that she's able to get into the ring with in NXT, maybe we'll actually get to see like all of the stuff that she can actually do because she's really good. And we've gotten like this much of it. You know what I mean? There's a reason why she was
scratched.
Women's champion in TNA. There's a reason why she was like this big deal on the indies. Like she was in like every wrestling promotion. Like there's a reason for that, and it's not just because she's hot. It's like no, she actually knows what she's doing.
She's so good.
Yeah,
She
I'm really
became-
excited.
I
for
am
her.
very excited for that because that's the thing. She's not going to NXT to just like do development shit. It's gonna be absolutely enhancing her so that when she's on SmackDown and Raw more, she gets like a little bit more of a pop, or she gets you get a little bit more out of her. You know what I mean? It's all about just enhancing the aura that is Chelsea Green. I'm very excited for it.
You also spelled her name wrong.
God,
Jeez Louise.
This is why I got 80s on spelling tests. Okay, I did not get hundreds. Okay,
I can see.
As the English guy, we can't spell. And a math guy, I know numbers very well. Not a math guy, whatever. Jimmy Smith ripped Ronda Rousey a new one. I pulled up I thought I did. What? Where is it? I thought I pulled up here it is. All the Ronda Rousey shit going around of how she's just slamming everybody in WWE, calling them unprofessional, say she'll never go back there, this, that, and the other thing. Thank God for Jimmy Smith. Honestly, Jimmy Smith, former Raw commentator, and if you took your wrestling hiatus between 2020 and I would say maybe 2023, early 2023, maybe even sooner. I don't know because it was that brief a period. He was the Raw play-by-play guy every Monday night. So
I think he would thrive right now.
He would.
I think that they had him too buttoned up because it was Vince. I think that he would be a lot better now. I think that being hit, like yelled at in his ear and be handed like a strict script is what really kind of like pushed him out the door,
Yeah. I'm trying to find the quote here. All right, here it is. Jimmy Smith, he said, I've never been a religious person. One of the things I've always said about God, he gets all the credit, none of the blame. That's what Ronda Rousey wants. All the credit, none of the blame. I want credit for all my wins, my losses. I had CTE and all this and all that. I'm the greatest to ever do it, but when it didn't work, it was so and so and so and so and so and never me. She never gives credit to the people who actually beat her. The idea that I left MMA and went to the WWE because I had concussion problems makes no sense.
Yeah, and then he goes on to talk about how none of the behind the scenes people liked working with her.
Oh, I read that quote too.
Yeah, that the camera people, the sound people, that they all just said that she was just so nasty and rude to them from the beginning to the end. I mean, I think that I guess it's good to hear this from like more of a reputable source who was like actually around or, is going to know people also who had to work with her. But I feel like if you didn't know based off of how Ronda has talked about her experience in WWE that she's a perpetual victim, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's, of course, like if you're the type of person that when you talk about your experience somewhere or with a group of people and it's always like you're the victim, everything went wrong, but it was never your fault. It was always everybody else. Like you don't need confirmation from anybody that they're full of shit. Like you don't, because there is almost never a situation in your life where you are a full victim. And I'm speaking about non-threatening, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. I know
But like
exactly what you mean.
everybody plays a part in everything. So it's like even if you had the best of intentions, maybe you said something wrong or you did something wrong. You know what I mean? So it's like the fact that there are people who are saying, yeah, I worked with her and this is exactly how she was. It's like, okay, there's just more confirmation of what we already knew, but she's confirmed it herself. Like she thinks that she's doing the opposite by being like, no, it was actually this person and this person. It's like, no, we get it. It was you. So I don't know. I thought it was interesting because I felt like the Ronda stuff had kind of died down, but it's probably gonna be
Thank God.
reignited now, and she's gonna come out and be like, Jimmy
Oh, I
doesn't
can't.
know shit.
I can't wait for that diss track. God is great, Vinny. You're damn fucking right. God is great. Who care, Ronda? Damn, is she still mad? Kind
Yeah.
of.
I think it's because
Poquito.
she's fallen into irrelevancy. That's the thing, is WWE was kind of keeping her relevant because the second that she like started to not be able to back it up in the octagon, she was looking for the next thing to like keep her relevant and to like keep her name alive in the sphere of being like a top woman's athlete. And then once that fizzled in WWE because the fans got sick of her attitude and her lack of wanting to be there and whatever, and the disrespectful things that she was saying about fans and the talent. Now she's just lashing out because she's like, all right, well, what am I going to do? Because then there were rumors about her trying to get back into UFC. And I'm like, girl, bye.
Yeah, get
Girl,
the
bye.
fuck out of
Like,
here.
just
I'm
give
so
it
over it.
up. Just give it up. Like, you could have just rode off into the sunset and people could have had like wonderful memories of Ronda just being this kick-ass fighter. But now this is what she's going to be known for. And it's like, that's you. That's you doing that.
It is. Unfortunately, it is. What do we want to go to next? Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that. Cody Rhodes, kind of the face of the company,
I
but
love it.
the dead man cares to disagree, and he thinks that Cody Rhodes would be a fantastic heel. To which I also very much agree, but I'm not ready for it yet.
I don't think yet. But we, I think that people forget, and I don't, but people forget where his roots are. His roots are being a heel. That's basically what the entirety of his first WWE run was. I don't think there was ever a time where he wasn't a heel. It wasn't. Stardust, but even then, Stardust was like supposed to kind of be a bad guy, but he like was a tweener. It was like it just depended on who they threw him against that week. Like if you cheered for him or if you know what I mean. It was like he wasn't a real established character after the whole like, oh my god, can you believe Cody is trying to be Goldust, like that original reveal. I would love to see Cody as a heel eventually because I feel like, especially in this new era, I think that he could be even better than if we said, oh, what the work he was doing, 10, 12 years ago in WWE. But I do wonder, I don't know that it's ever going to happen because I said this, I don't even know how long ago. It looks like they are trying to make him the new John Cena. And so if we're going to follow that formula, he's never turning. But we also have to pay attention to how the fans react. Like there's always going to be the diehard Cody fans, and I'll be one of them because I said Cody is one of the only people that can be nauseatingly babyface, and I'm gonna be like, I love ya, like he's one of the few. But there are a lot of people who got sick, obviously, of John Cena being that guy, being Super Cena. So there's gonna be people who are gonna get sick of, Captain America, Cody Rhodes. So they are going to either have to figure out a way to balance that and deal with potential blowback of, instead of the John Cena sucks, we're going to see Cody Rhodes sucks, or they're going to be like, you know what, let's try and see how this works, because there is like a whole bunch of merch and stuff that they can come up with. American Nightmare is a perfect nickname to be either or.
Oh, absolutely.
So like imagine the brilliance and how dark like an American Nightmare heel run would be. Like it's all right there for you. So I wonder if maybe it gets to a point where they notice that maybe the fans aren't as receptive of him as a babyface, and maybe that's when they're like, you know what, let's try and do something with this. Or if they're just going to try and recreate the whole John Cena run where we don't touch a good thing because he's the face of the company. He's a great guy. He does all the Make-A-Wish. He sells the most merch. Like all the little kids love him. You know, like they might not want to do that, but it's hard to say because it's Triple H, not Vince. So
that's true.
You don't know.
I really don't know. I hope I do not find out in the near future.
Yeah, it's not. We've barely seen him as champion at this point. So
I know it's incredible. There's so much left.
And he's already had more title defenses in the 3 weeks that he's been champion than Roman did all last year. It's just as a reminder.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah, for that.
That's my champion. So.
All right. Well, I was going to do something else, but you mentioned your champion. I'll tell you, you're a former champion.
No.
Former. He is a former
No, he's still my Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. I don't know what you're talking about.
I disagree. Sami Zayn,
all right, well,
hold the belt.
That's fine. I don't recognize that. So.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're on. Okay. Well, he did. Oh, I'm supposed to introduce it. Gunther. I forget what show he was on, but he went on a show recently and said that he disliked the old product that was before Triple H, and he just did not find it entertaining. I wish I had the quote in front of me.
He was something about he didn't like how Vince ran things, and he almost didn't want to be in WWE because of it. Is basically what he said.
And it's just a sentence like that really shows you how different things are now, and that for the better.
Yeah, and because I think he mentioned having conversations with Triple H and stuff, and that's something that was just echoed by Drew McIntyre when he was talking about the conversations that he had with Nick Khan, with Triple H about re-signing and getting a 3-year deal done. A lot of people are talking about and crediting Triple H for how things are going and why they're staying around. And I think he was so blessed, and people want to make jokes about it, oh yeah, he was with Stephanie and blah, blah, blah. But being a wrestler at the peak of WWE when it was the Attitude Era, but then also being a wrestler throughout the Ruthless Aggression and the PG era and whatever, he was there through all of it. But behind the scenes, he was learning so much from the man who created the biggest wrestling empire the world has ever seen. So it's he is so blessed in that he has so much more knowledge than any wrestling promoter has ever had, because Vince McMahon got in the ring a couple times and he did commentary, but he wasn't Triple H. It's not the same. He did not have a storied wrestling career that Triple H did. So I think because his brain is mostly the brain of a wrestler, he understands what these people are going through. He understands what the talent are going through, what they're trying to do, what they're trying to accomplish. He understands the fans and how what they like, what they don't like, what you're looking for from them. But then he also understands the business side and the promoter side. So it's just I think that's probably why Gunther was okay, I'm going to see what this guy does. Because if anything, he can be you're not delivering on your promise whatsoever. Yeah. I don't like how this is going. I want out. And he hasn't. So I'm happy. Because, I did talk about how I was concerned about Imperium and what Vince was going to do with them. I'm still concerned about Vinci, but that's another story. But yeah, I really do hope that Triple H delivers, because you can't drop the ball with a guy like Gunther. So I'm just glad that it's all worked out. I'm glad that we're able to watch Gunther, just nice? Slap the crap out of people. Okay.
Oh my God, he was chopping the shit out of Xavier Woods.
I was here for it. I love it. It's take a shot every time he does a chop.
Oh my God, I'd be fucking hammered. I'd be blackout by the first commercial break.
Yeah, for real. I know. Especially certain matches where that's all he's doing.
All he does. Oh my God. I just the purple in the paint. You look. I was watching the Jericho Shibata match, and just the color of their chests. was just
Have you
so
seen-
different.
Have you seen the video of Chris Van Vliet getting chopped by?
Oh my God, that
yeah.
poor man.
I know.
Our friend.
Literally bleeding through his skin. That is always such a weird like thing because it's like he's not really bleeding, but it's like it's bleeding under his skin. Like it's so weird, but I wouldn't say he's a friend either. But
Okay, well,
I DM'd him and he never answered me.
He shook my hand and said, "Keep going."
He follows me, so
why you always gotta one up me, right, Sarah?
Because you're trying to one up me.
I'm not trying. Okay.
I said I DM'd him and he didn't answer me, and you're like, "Well, he shook my hand and told me I was awesome."
You know who else is awesome? Jim Johnston.
Yes.
Okay, Jim Johnston and Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah.
Yeah, segues are weird. Everything connects.
Mm-hmm.
He was interviewed by Jim Johnston was interviewed by Chris Van Vliet. I think it was this week or a few weeks ago.
It was like last week or
last
whatever.
week.
Yeah.
About obviously Jim Johnston's time in WWE and creating wrestling themes, and how perfect of a time to have this interview, I'd say, because for someone who, or for the product now, the theme songs we have that are so tone deaf to the actual product, you have a guy like Jim Johnston, who I think had one of the most brilliant phrases to describe a wrestler's entrance, and is that it's a score of a movie. So when an action hero comes out and that, orchestra type music's playing, that film type of music's playing, that like Iron Man's coming out or Spider-Man's about to swing through. Like, when that type of music hits, that's their theme.
He compared it to like Jaws. Like when you hear the Jaws music, like yeah.
Exactly. So because that Jaws. Well, when the glass shatters, Stone Cold's coming out. And he said that he made a great point. You don't know why. You don't know what is going on, really. You may not even know what like the match itself, but you know that, okay, Stone Cold's coming out. That's all I need to know. Like, there's none of that right now.
That he's coming out to kick ass and like whatever. Yeah. Like you get the vibe before you even know like what's going on.
And there's none of that now. There's only like a few that when you hear, you're like, all right, game time. And I think I could count it on my one hand.
Yeah, most of them are not even Def Rebel. They're like older songs. You know what I mean? It's like there are, and that's the thing, like we've said, when we talk about Def Rebel, 90% of their stuff is bad. But there is a 10% where they have some songs that are actually good. The problem is, I don't think they're ever going to get Jim Johnston back, but can you bring back CFOs? Or can you at least, or even bring in like a music composer for movies? Because at least they understand the importance of what something sounds like to define a person or a scene or a vibe, like if Jim Johnston isn't going to come back, which he seems like all ties are severed there, then try to find not necessarily a new Jim Johnston, but somebody who thinks along the same lines. Because I think just bringing in people who make music, it's not the same, because like a pop song on the radio is not eliciting a feeling or any necessarily the way that like a Stone Cold like if you smell, like there's certain things that like you can't just throw a few beats together and be like, okay, it's fine. Like that's just not, it's not what it is. So I saw this clip and it just like made me sad, because I'm like, we're so far away from this right now, and it bums me out, man.
It does a little bit, but for some reason I have a really good gut feeling that Def Rebel is on the outs if this outcry keeps coming up, because it's not going away anytime soon. I'll tell you that.
I want to say this. Yeah, Nakamura is. Yeah, we know his.
Gunther.
But it's like
Beth,
you could even say like Roman Reigns' song isn't bad, but again, like most of
LA Knight.
But most of the ones that we say that are okay with Def Rebel are songs, no words. And so it's like there's not a whole lot of effort, but then at the same time, it doesn't necessarily like tell you the vibe. Like Gunther's has words, but it's not like anything special or unique,
It's
you know.
just Austrian
But
or German.
that one I think gives you a vibe, but like most of them don't. And I just think that it's not even just the nostalgia of missing Jim Johnston. It's like, no, we just miss being able to identify like who's coming out. Like I miss when someone's music hits, you know, like the way that we all felt during Raw when Drew McIntyre was out there and CM Punk's music hit. That's how I want to feel more often. But the reason why it is because that is not Def Rebel. You know, that's why.
Lavender Color, baby.
So it's like I want to have more of that feeling where like CM Punk's coming out to talk his shit. You know what I mean? Like I want more of that kind of stuff, and we just don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
Need more of that. WrestleMania National, Sarah. That could be pretty cool. Triple H was in a Twitter space, X space, sorry, the other day, and he was talking about the possibility of WrestleMania going overseas. He said in a thing about the global nature of what we do, what we are, what we're doing. I look at the globe. I think everything is on the table for where it goes. You saw the mayor of London the other day put out a statement about WrestleMania. I said we should talk, and we should, as should the mayors or leaders of every other place around this globe. If they want WWE to come talk to us, we're open for business. We'd love to be there wherever our fans are going to be the loudest and the craziest and the most into what we do. It would be an honor. And boy, howdy, it would be a hell of an honor in Europe.
Yeah, I could see that being something like maybe next year or in a couple years, because I think that it's not, I don't know what goes into WrestleMania planning, but I assume it's, you know, a year, at least at minimum a year of planning in advance, because there's so many things that they need to like lock down and make sure that they have the spaces to do. And it's not going to be as easy, I would assume, in another country the way that it is in America, because you know everything is different, everything's built different, cities are different, you know, from America to Europe. So I wouldn't be surprised. I think that is going to inevitably happen at some point. I just don't, it's not going to be this year, but it could be maybe 42 or beyond. And I feel like that would be really cool. I mean, they've been begging for it. I feel like you have to do London first, right? Like that's the one that they've been talking about. So, and it's like, you know, maybe people would complain about it, but it's also like, look at all of the people who go to WrestleMania in America every year. They talk about how they flew 6,000 miles to get there. Like, if you can't afford living in the middle of Nebraska to fly to London to go to WrestleMania, well, you can't complain about it when some dude from South Africa, you know,
is
like
saving his life savings to go, like
literally flew to Philly to be there. You know what I mean? Like they should be able to see stuff and have big shows like WrestleMania too. Like we're just
1,000%.
spoiled at this point. So
we really, really are. And speaking of WrestleMania, 41's location will be revealed very soon. So
fingers crossed, it's Vegas.
Yeah.
And if it's Vegas, we're gonna be there, guys. We're gonna be there.
Fucking need it.
I know. I love going. I mean, I'm not even a drinker, but the fact that you can go to Vegas and just drink on the street, like how epic.
Yeah. You understand that that's just my dream. That is what.
Yeah, like the fact that you could buy some hard alcohol at the stadium to watch WrestleMania, like, oh my God. Yeah, it feels inevitable at this point that it's going to be Vegas. Obviously, it looks like they backed out of Minnesota for whatever reason. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just based on like what happened with Philly, even though the Viking Stadium is indoors. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, let's go somewhere else. Like let's go somewhere that is going to be more touristy or is going to attract more people.
Exactly.
And that's Vegas. And of course, then we've talked about the Endeavor connection with UFC. It's like, okay, that's a hub in Vegas. And I feel like it's just such a bigger opportunity to make money in Vegas than it would in Minneapolis, you know? So I'm excited. It's going to be such a polar opposite weather-wise too.
Oh my God, I can wear shorts.
I know, like you probably can, because like I mean, there are talks about them moving it to May, which I hope that if they move it to May, it's not Vegas, because then it's going to be like 100 degrees during Mania, which I'm not into. But yeah, no, it's like instead of having to bundle up and you're wearing hats and like double pairs of socks,
We
like
were- we
no,
were-
you'll be wearing shorts and like swimming in the pool at the hotel. Like that would be kind of cool.
That would be so cool. That would be so much better than. Oh, I was freezing.
Freezing.
Then
Yeah.
the kid was. I had to fucking buy that kid the hat,
Oh yeah, I know, because he didn't want to wait.
and
Yeah,
I like. I shouldn't be buying winter hats.
I know.
I'm more
But that,
complaining that it was a winter hat.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Well,
all
that's like me. I had to buy a winter coat
you did.
because like I was gonna be freezing, and I'm so glad that I had it for night 1 of Mania specifically.
yeah,
Because if I didn't, I was gonna be an ice cube.
yeah, you would not have made it.
No.
You really wouldn't have.
No.
I was brave. I could have been a little bit more prepared. That was not as warm, but yeah, it's gonna hopefully be Vegas at the end of the day. I really hope it is.
I
For
saw
everything.
someone who made a really cool like graphic design for WrestleMania 41. They used like the 41 was like a slot machine and
Oh, that's
whatever.
brilliant.
I don't know. It was so good. I was like, yes, please. Like, you can't pass on this opportunity. Like, it's already made for you. It's so good.
That's so nice. Yeah. All right. All right. Well, okay. So we got that because it's time for the 1, 2, 3 count. All right. And number 1, I mean, it's Saturday. We're not going to have time to, do a video where we break down all our predictions and all that because it's 1:00 on Saturday. All right. So you win this time, France. So
Well, 10 a.m. for me.
Oh my God. I would love, like, dead ass, I would love one day to wake up, watch a wrestling pay-per-view live, and then go on with my day.
I think you would like football here, like football season, because the first game starts at 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's fucking
So
awesome.
it's like 10, then the next ones are on at 1, and then Sunday or Monday night is on at 5. So they're done by like 8, 8:30.
Yeah.
So
And then you have the whole night to do whatever.
mhm.
Yeah,
I know.
that's the West Coast, man.
Yeah, that's the biggest like positive about the West Coast. That's about it.
So let's go over the match card now. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it because there's only 5 matches on the card. I'm gonna go Backlash card. Hopefully they got it good. All right, sweet. All right, so we'll start off. Oh, I should write these down. All right.
I think it'll be easy to remember.
Yeah, but we said that about the other.
There's 5 matches.
I know, but
they're not unpredictable. So just go. It's fine.
All right, Cody versus AJ Styles.
Cody.
All right, Damian Priest versus Jey Uso.
Damian Priest.
All right, women's tag team title match.
Jade and Bianca.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win that too. Triple threat women's championship match: Bayley, Tiff, Naomi.
Bayley.
Yes, and KO or rated RKO versus the Bloodline, Solo and Tama Tonga.
Got to be the Bloodline.
Um,
You can't start the Bloodline looking weak. You can't.
No, they have more match.
The new Bloodline. You can't do that.
They have So I'm looking at CBS Sports. They said that they have like Sami Zayn and Chad Gable and A-Town Down Under versus the Street Profits, and the DIY versus. Oh, these are just predictions. Okay, never mind. I got lost in a rabbit hole. My bad.
Yeah, that's easy. Even if, like I said, the build-up wasn't great, the matches seem pretty predictable, but like I just don't care. Like the build-up I'm disappointed with, obviously, but like the matches being kind of predictable, whatever. They're probably going to be really good, so it's like I don't care at this point. Like I'd rather it be like that in a pay-per-view that I don't feel had a good build-up. I'd rather.
Yeah, and you have no idea. Okay.
Yeah, like I'd rather just be like that than being like so invested and then be disappointed or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it is what it is. I think it'll be a good show. So
I agree. Yeah. 2. I had this idea. we like when like I want to cosplay one time, dress up as a wrestler. And cosplay means dress up as a wrestler. All right, you try to make a banner. I would like to dress up as a wrestler one time for like an event because I follow Wheezy Blonde and she went
You
to some
already
convention.
you literally dressed up as Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, for Halloween.
I know, but I've never dressed up as a wrestler. So you said you wanted to dress up as a wrestler one time. You already did.
Oh, I was saying for like a convention or like a WWE
Oh.
or like a wrestling thing or something. Like
Mm.
maybe not go to a wrestling show dressed as one, but like I don't know. I want to do it. I saw her do it in Chelsea Green. She crushed it. And I was like, who could I do other than like Mick Foley or like Paul Heyman? Like let's go. What like can I be The Rock? Like could I be John Cena? Muscles.
I mean, John Cena is so easy. So
I once dressed up as him on Halloween to get a free burrito. So
yeah, I think that would be easy. I think it's more difficult for women because like there's not a whole lot of women's outfits that are super identifiable, you know, like like a man, Stone Cold ET, right? Like if you just took off the ET mask, like he looks like Stone Cold, like because he's wearing jean shorts and a leather vest. But like a lot of the women, they didn't always wear the same outfits, obviously. So there's only like, you could try to do like an iconic look like of Trish's, or I don't know, you could wear cargo pants with your thong hanging out and people are gonna be like, oh, okay, that's
flash
Lita.
that ass.
But it's like, okay, calm down. But like otherwise it's not the same, because the women change their outfits so much and their ring gear that it's not as identifiable. So it's like if I were going to do it, I feel like I would have to dress up like a man, like that's the only way that I feel like you could be identifiable. Like, and I already know who I'd be. So
Cena?
No, Razor.
Oh, Razor, obviously.
Or Scott Hall. It's not that hard. I would just have to get like a wig though. And that would
You
be
would,
so
and
hideous.
like
It would be so hideous.
you
Oh
get
my
a
god.
toothpick too.
Me with black hair. Ugh.
Well,
nasty.
I can't picture it.
Yeah.
I actually can't. And 3, happy birthday, Rock. All right. I couldn't think of a way to end the show, but today is The Rock's birthday. So happy birthday to the People's Champ, my favorite of all time. Yeah, that's all I really got because I'm not gonna go into an elaborate thing. You already know my
Sorry, go ahead.
Everyone already knows my absolute love and obsession, let's say, for The Rock. So just happy birthday. And that's all I gotta say. You want to say it back, Sarah?
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I'm trying to find a picture of me with dark hair to show you.
Okay.
That's me.
I'm trying to think like compare it like
yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a comparison of like a step like you're wearing your hair like Blair Davenport there. Yeah, that's not bad. There you go. Auburn hair.
It was way too dark. Way too dark. But anyway. Yeah.
Here we go. That is the show.
Yes.
That's all we got for you guys. Thank you for tuning into this edition of the show. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. In the links in the description below. New name, I'm at Patty Pitts.
I changed it.
You're incredible. So I changed it. So go follow that new account. And then while you're at it, hit subscribe. You're already here. Hit subscribe and bell notification to know every time we go live. And speaking of going live, Sunday probably is looking
It wasn't a wig. It was my real hair. It was my real hair. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
Oh. Christopher, well, because we didn't get the comments before we left. So
okay.
He wants to see me dressed as Chelsea Green. Thank you. Thank you, son. Thank you, son. Christopher says if it's in Vegas, he will be there.
Let's go.
Samesies.
We will be there.
Nathaniel would love to see it in Boston or Seattle. That I would be fine with either. I mean, mostly Boston than Seattle, but yeah. Just because Seattle would be cold and whatever.
You'd have to do it at Seattle, like this football stadium, and that's outside.
Exactly. And it'd be cold.
and it's known for rain. Like Seattle is known for rain.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, okay, sorry.
So yeah, no, that's all we got. And make sure you do all that stuff that I said. We'll be back on Sunday. That's where I was going with Sunday to break down Backlash because it's got a weird time. So we're gonna go off at a weird time. That's how the nonsense works. We don't make the rules, we just enforce them. So that's all I got. I'm about to go mow on some Wendy's. And until next time, till Sunday, thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. See you on Sunday. Yeah!